Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. Welcome to December. Alright, so just ran down here to see what the greenhouses are at. We haven't filled all the bays yet. Again, each of these is 500 liters, so we need that trailer full at 3 levels to just get 18,000. And as you can see, we've still got 60,000 or so, 63,000 to go. So I need over 3 of those trailers. So I've got some waiting to do on this. I mean, obviously at some point we'll keep moving things, but it's not really even worth the time at this point. So let's see what else I can get into. Alright, so as a reminder, checking out the barley field here. This is the center, which is the one that's grown the most, but around the edges we've got crop that's a day older, so I really need to wait till February, till barley's ready. This looks hopeful. Not quite yet. 5 of 5, so the potatoes will be ready tomorrow. Obviously I've got this part that is good already from before that I did not harvest. And we planted both of these fields at the same time, so more than likely, this is probably what we're going to get into. We'll just end up passing through today and starting on the next day, and then continue to let the strawberries do their thing. And yeah, just the only other thing that I've been waiting on is the wheat, and that is 2 days away as well. So we're looking at February for both the wheat and the barley as the earliest point. So pretty much nothing we can do today. I did remember I wanted to keep an eye on the grape processing unit, because again I'm trying to walk that careful line between letting these grapes last between the raisins and the grape juice, but I think I'm okay. So we'll definitely know more tomorrow. So we'll head back here, we'll enjoy Christmas, and we'll be here for the new year. Alright, since I know I'm going to have to work on potatoes today, even though it's winter and the days aren't as long. Oh, getting a really weird blinking there. I don't know. It's a weird graphic thing. I've not had that happen before. Hoping it goes away in a bit. Not unexpectedly, we've filled everything here. Just going to go verify the potatoes are in fact ready before I go ahead and rent a harvester and then suddenly find out they're not. Let's remove foliage, which then should mean that they can be harvested. I'll tell you, it's gonna be close, because I need 10,000 raisins, 9,000 grape juice. I guess we still have 4,000 left. And this is 1-to-1, and we only need, less than 2,200 liters there, but I am going to have to keep an eye on that so that I don't mistakenly blow by that. Because basically, if it looks like very clearly I'm going to hit the raisin amount first. So as soon as I do that, I'm going to want to divert everything to grape juice, because otherwise I think I run the risk of not being able to do it. I'm also wondering if the full capacity on the raisins is going to be 2,200. You know what, the other thing, I better go visit, because we may, I'm going to deactivate this right now. Because what ends up happening with productions is this is what's in the facility, but if pallets have been output, that's not counted. Alright, so I think I'm still in good shape, because basically, as you can see, we have 1 pallet of raisins. You can see that's 1,000 liters, so that gets us to about 8,800. But then grape juice comes out in pallets of 432, as opposed to 1,000. So that means we have a little over 1,200 here. So let's say 1,250, just for easy math. And so again, if I have the 1,000, I'm at 8,852, so I definitely need that going. And if I have 12 50, that puts me basically at 7,000. So yeah, I'm okay to keep going here, but I do need to keep an eye on it because I only need about 1,200. So what I'm going to need in raisins is I need this to be 9,000. When that hits 9,000, I'm done. Alright, so we've got ourselves a potato harvester here. So we're going to get moving on this. Alright, so I've got this harvesting. Just to get it done, I've got some a worker helping out. Because I think that's the only way I'm going to realistically be able to move this along. I want to be able to have the potato harvester continuing to work while I'm doing other things. So I think I'm going to have to be fighting with this a bit. We'll see how it all works. Although maybe this is finally doing what I needed, because I did try to set it to turn on the field, but at the other end it really didn't. I'm still not sure that it is. Obviously it's heading out here. I think it's going to hit this tree, and it is. So yes, at this point it has stopped again. And so I think I'm going to be dancing with this a lot, which is part of the challenge I had of figuring out what the best way to do this would be. Yeah, so the challenge here is it's just hard to tell like what's been harvested and what has not. Not quite sure why this isn't picking anything up. There we go, it finally is now. So maybe I had gotten it at some point earlier, but yeah, this isn't turning around very well. So I'm gonna have to kind of keep wrestling with this, which is why I was hoping at least that maybe Courseplay would do a little bit better, but it just seems to back up a bit and then kind of drive and create, you know, what I would call like a light bulb turn, where, you know, it's going to go here. Now I think again that it's going to hook on the tree, of course. So yeah, you can see how this is going, and it's not going well. So I'm going to keep fighting with this. I may eventually just do my own thing, and I'm thinking that may be the best thing to do. Just like I said, I was hoping that if I could get something done with the automation, that I could actually then let this keep running while I was gone. But yeah, this is like hitting on everything. And another reason I don't really want potatoes, but you know, the VIPs want them. So we are trying to give them what they want. Alright, so I think I have that. Let me see, I think it's harvesting. And I'm stuck on the tree again. So if it is, it's news to me. Let's see. Turn off harvester, so in theory it is. Oh, actually, because I already went around this way, I think is the problem. So let me kind of do this, and we'll go from there, and hopefully it will collect some up, but I'm probably manually going to drive this to some degree, because otherwise when I go deliver potatoes, I'm obviously not in the position to very quickly keep moving, because the harvester won't be functioning. So I'm removing the tops because I haven't lifted that up, but what I want to do is get a little bit of a bottom here, because what that will give me is at the bottom and the top, I think, is what I did before, and then that way I can line things up and let it go, and maybe it'll work. Not sure. So I'm going to try to find a way, and I'll be back once I feel I have something useful to share, because right now it's just a tale of frustration and woe. Alright, I'm here delivering the potatoes, which hopefully, yep, there we go. So they're starting to decrease the amount. This will obviously get us to 111,000 once we're done. Still not done with kind of the north end of the field. I'm going ahead and also kind of trying to create something so that since I have to harvest, maybe I can have this do a delivery in the interim. Alright, so we're going to call that Stu's Pit, and then I am going to circle around here and have it go right back through, which is what I many times did. But this way, this will be a one-way loop. There won't be any opportunity for it to pick something in the wrong direction. And then I can connect back up here, hopefully. So we'll head out that way. And then I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to go ahead and make that connection. And at this point, I should be able to go to the farm entrance, and it should make it. So we will test that as we go. We don't need to see this. That was a really fast turn, but it worked. So put that away. Leave those arrows up, because then it'll kind of give me a heads up in case something goes the wrong way. But I would imagine here that we should be able to go left. Looks like the left turn signal is turned on. So I think we're good, and even if it takes this really long crawling time, which is kind of what it will do, I'm sitting there harvesting in the interim. So, you know, and the nice thing here is the road network that is in existence is from the regular driving network that comes with from the map creator. So as far as on the main roads, usually these auto drive courses work pretty well, but we'll just kind of let it go, because this is kind of how you test the network. So if you've never done this type of thing with your farming simulator experience, hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight into how you might go ahead and do this. So you can see we've got most of that field ready to go, but we've got those edges there. You can see they're still green, where we need to have that barley go through. You know what? I just realized, well, I don't think I have weeds. Oh wait, that's not my field. That's 44. I'm like, I don't think I have weeds on, but that's a harvested field and that's grass. So I am just losing my mind. So yeah, all these turns onto bridges are very deliberate and slow, because whatever calculations auto drive needs to make, obviously it's a bit of a challenge. So again, it's a little bit of a confused look. This isn't going to help at all, because those are trees. But you can see the harvester at the top, but you can see where it's dark. I haven't harvested there yet. So let me turn this on, stop this, because at this point, now I want to go ahead and turn in. I just need to kind of get nearby, and if it goes too far and I have to turn around, you know, that's okay, because I'll be able to see it coming down the road and I can always change. But there's a little bit left here because this takes about 22,000 liters. So there we go. We got 4,000 liters to start, so 10%, more than 10% of what we need already. Get this out of the way, and I'm going to continue working, but I'll be back when I'm ready to take the final load and show you what's going on. I'm getting close on getting things done. I need about 10,000 liters of potatoes. So we're getting really close here. But in the interim, because I think we're going to get this in the next 1 or 2 passes, so I don't want to necessarily over pull, because we need a lot of potatoes for the next one. But I went a tiny bit over. You know, I would have used 7 liters. If it comes down to that, I think we're stuck anyway. But at this point, we've got enough raisins, so I've stopped the production of raisins so that the rest of this can now go to juice. And again, we need 9,000 juice. We have about 1,250 out there, so we have about 8,000 now. We need 1,500 to make 1,000. I think we'll be good. So I think we're going to have some extra juice. So let's see what this looks like when it turns around, because what I may do, because it was like I think 3,300 on the other end, so we're getting about 3,000 as we go down, so I think this can take a full row yet, and then we just need a little bit more than that to get what we need. But there's not really, I don't know, it's one of those, like, I could harvest all the rest, because since I don't own the harvester, it's like I would need to pull some of it, but I don't think at this point, like, I'm barely making 151, so I don't know what to do, because I think I'm going to need 2 fields, or 2 harvests anyway, because I don't think, like, let's say I've got 160 or 170 here, so if I stop and then I have another 10,000 left, because it's realistically probably what I have, that means I've got like 160 on this field, and so harvesting the 10,000, then I'll get another 160, I'll be at 170. I'm still going to have to do things, so that next order is going to be a challenge. I'm either going to be doing other field, whoops, now I've done too much. Yeah, we've blown past it, which is okay. But we'll get this cleared up. So we'll reset this, because that's how I was kind of trying to be accurate, but I couldn't do a fill limit on the harvester. So, you know, and I don't want to throw any potatoes away, but I don't have anywhere to store them is the problem. So what I probably could do, because I also think I have more than a trailer load here, I just don't know that it's worth it. I don't know. But yeah, that's more than enough. I'll get to this to the road, and then we will deliver. So yeah, harvesting it and selling it, I'm not going to get that much. I mean, once again, it's a few $100s per 1,000 liters, so it's going to be like 1,000 or so, and you know, I'm renting that harvester. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near what I need to get, so as far as, you know, it's like I'm going to waste more money getting it harvested than I may generate from it at this point. Of course, yeah, what I'll probably end up doing next time, however, is I will probably just plow over this, and well, I suppose I could work around it like I did, but and then go from there. But anyway, let's turn this in. So we're going to return it. And it took us more than an hour, so, you know, that's the thing. It was another $12,000 in leasing costs for that extra hour, I think. So, but I needed it for that. So yeah, those potatoes are going to be interesting. That is for certain. I just don't really want to tie up other fields for more potatoes, because I mean, I could plant it larger, make it a little easier to harvest, but I'm just not sure. So I'm just going to have to think about it as I get there. I've got a couple levels till I get there. But at this point, let's hop on over here. And we'll get this driven over, and most important thing is another VIP order will be complete. And then we'll kind of have everything clear to get the grain done. But then obviously we have the strawberries. So I'm almost thinking the strawberries are going to end up taking more time than what we're going to need. Yeah, if I had the planter for the potatoes, I'd like go ahead and do it, but once again, I don't. Like, there's no reason to own it. But it's definitely not my favorite crop to work. I mean, because as you can see, it took a long, long time. And yes, this runs at a higher speed. So I just noticed at the end, I've gone the whole episode. I'm here in Britain. I'm supposed to be in pounds. I keep forgetting to set it. I apologize for those who are following along and at least wanting some semblance here of something going on. So we'll see those potatoes turn green. And, you know, so we got 19,000. Well, I mean, at this point I've turned it in, but so I guess I'm getting more than I thought, because this was 31,000, so I'm probably getting 300 or 400. But still, it's just a lot. So we'll let that get itself back here, and while we're doing that, we'll do the wrap up. So we've got 3 of the 6 level 11 orders done. You know, the challenge we're going to have here, I'm almost wondering if I can somehow get this to be something else. So I may look into that. So the payout for this is honestly pathetic for the amount of effort that I've got to do. And I think that's part of what ends up happening. Because you can see I've got 151,000. I'm getting a 53,000 pound bonus. I may be reaching the point where this is just... we've kind of reached the tipping point of where this mod is enjoyable. Because let's see. We need 78,000 here. We're getting 28,000. Now here we need 150,000, which is double. But we're not getting double the payout. We're getting less. And that's my understanding of how the mod works. It's kind of as you get further and further up, and I think the theory behind it is you're obviously a bigger farm at that point, and you're able to do things more easily. And so therefore, it should be less work, but for something like potatoes, it's not. And again, I don't mind getting $10,000 or $20,000 less of a bonus on grain crop, because it's just a base harvest and it's simple. But you know, the challenge really is these root crops, because I don't own the equipment, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to own the equipment, because in this area, like I don't, let me look at the map. There's probably someone else growing potatoes, so I guess I can't really say, you know, it's just me. But no, now that I look at this, There's no other fields that are the same color. So I think we are it. And so, in hindsight, if I had it to do over again, knowing what I know now, I would have adjusted the mod, now that I know how to do that, because of my Mega VIP exploration, I would have adjusted the mod to go ahead and ignore or not produce orders for root crops. Because with the hedges and everything, it's so challenging to work with the trees around. Like, it's one thing with some of the other pieces, and similarly, like the sugarcane, that's another one. So I think, and maybe people are going to get mad at me and whatever, but I'm tipping on that balance of, like, it's getting not fun looking at what I'm doing. And if I have to think that I'm going to have potatoes or beets or sugarcane coming up and get tiny payout, I just think that's crazy. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make an edit, and I'm going to replace these potatoes with something else. I may leave it at the same quantity, so I may make it something insane where, you know, once again, I'm going to have to get 200,000 and get 45,000, you know, let's say I made it barley. Like, I'm doing more work still and getting paid less. That's okay on a one-time basis. But then I'm going to make sure that I remove the ability of the mod to generate potatoes, sugar beets, and sugarcane. Because in hindsight, those really shouldn't be on this map here. Nobody is growing them, and other than me, and it's just challenging to harvest them because of the way the landscape is. All the fields are tied up against hedges. You know, there's fences, there's this and that, and we're talking about big equipment, or with the sugarcane, you know, this unwieldy equipment where I've got the harvester and it's spewing back into a wagon and so forth. This just isn't the place for it. Like, if I ever end up doing a map in South America or something, you know, maybe we'll have a sugarcane plantation, but my guess is the fields will be a little bit more open and able to do that. And if I'm doing that, I would then own the equipment, and I you know, I'd say, hey, I've made my money here in Riverview. You know, it gives me that option to go to other areas of the world where I might need to do things, and VIPs might want something like that. But right now we're artificially generating orders because it'll generate orders for anything that exists and is possible, and it's just not realistic. So what I don't want to do, because as I've said, I've kind of committed, I'd like to take this series to level 20 on the VIP orders and kind of continue testing it and see what happens. But I think this is an example of something that you're going to want to think about if you use this mod, is just be aware that, you know, your values go down, and, you know, I don't know how significant they are, because here, for example, we've got 6,000 liters of furniture. Here we have 7. The payout is still bigger, even though we're a couple levels apart. But, you know, keep in mind that for 6,000 we're getting paid, let's make it easy math, we're getting paid 24,000, so I'm getting basically a 4,000 pound bonus per 1,000, where if I maintain that rate, this would be closer to 28 than where it is here. So there's definitely a drop-off, but I think, again, if the mod had a situation where it just fell off a cliff, you couldn't get very far. And I think the modder themselves made a comment somewhere that I saw that I think they tested order generation through like level 20, which is why I feel I should be able to do that, you know, understanding that I'm going to be asked to do more things for perhaps less bonus, but you know, I just want to keep it enjoyable as well, both for you and for me. I mean, I don't know that this potato episode has been super thrilling for you, given that I couldn't really show you a lot because it was just such a slog to get it done that I determined to go ahead and just try to get it done off camera. So, because all you would have heard was me cursing and being upset, and it wouldn't have been enjoyable anyway, and it probably was semi-unenjoyable as it was, because, you know, in hindsight, I think I was pretty down at the beginning of the episode, seeing how things were playing out and knowing what I had in store for me, and there's no joy at all looking at this line. So I'm just going to be upfront, and I'm gonna call an audible, and we're going to make a change, but I'm just being upfront of what's happening. If you guys want to rip me apart in the comments for that decision because you feel it's inappropriate, go ahead and do that and let me know. And I'll keep that in mind for maybe in the future. But you know, I do want to be honest. If I leave that, and like potatoes came up in level 15 and I needed 300,000 liters and I was going to get almost nothing, I mean, I don't think it matters what I got. Even if I was getting 90,000 pounds, it's not about the money, it's just about this map and being able to work certain crops, and it's just kind of nuts. I mean, even the grapes are marginal, but I'll leave the grapes in because at this point I own most of the equipment, and that kind of changes things. Plus it's smaller, you know, so if I need to do stuff with grapes, so be it. I mean, obviously the grape production unit was here on the map. I mean, you could make the argument the sugar mill is here on the map too. It is, but I've had my fill of sugarcane because there's just not a great way to do it, and because I can't store it, because the only thing you can do is dump it on the ground. It's just kind of a frustrating crop as well to work with, so I'm just not enjoying it. So, long-winded wrap-up here of what's going on, but it's 6:25. It took me all day to get that done. We are getting close to what we need. I mean, at this point, I'm just going to let this process, because it's not like I can take the grapes out. So, I'm just going to let it make juice. Well, hold on, because I'm thinking I saw raisins later, but maybe I was crazy. No, never mind. It's just because raisins are in the next level. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a chance I'm taking in that I'm making grape juice. I may not need grape juice, you know, but my thought was I can sell it and I'll go from there. But I'll take a look, and maybe what I'll end up doing is creating more raisins, because I can do 1 for 1, but I'm thinking the grape juice is worth more. Suppose let's look at that. Yeah, grape juice is 5,000 pounds 1,000, and raisins are 4. So we're certainly getting compensated for the fact that it's a 5-to-4 ratio to some degree. We're getting more than that 20% bonus. Well, I guess we're getting right around that. So either way, that's where we're at. But hopefully, even though it was probably not the most exciting and energetic episode with things going on, hope you've at least enjoyed it and, you know, are following along. And I hope to see you next time.